Kim, what is our fifth main topic today?
Okay, this is coming from Randall F. Hey, John and crew. I know you've been saying that you don't think the new Echo show is actually an Echo show, but actually just a secret facade for a new Daredevil series. But news just came out that the writers from both the Netflix's Punisher and Daredevil series just joined the show. Does this change your mind at all about this, or are you still convinced the Echo show is for real? Love the show, and Ray is always my game pick.
Oh, there it is. Ray.
I don't know what happened to you.
Who hurt you? Who hurt you?
He just likes the underdog.
So, all right, listen. Yeah, look, we have talked about this a bunch. A lot of people have been writing into the show ever since Hawkeye, even before Hawkeye came out, and suggested, you think that Echo show might actually be Daredevil? You think they might be doing a little bait and switch? You know, they do you like even before Hawkeye came out, I had some people writing in. Do you think there's a possibility they could be pulling a, Captain America and the Serpent Society, which actually really was Captain America Civil War? And I've been saying for a long time, well, the big difference of that is that it was still a Captain America project. Yeah, it wasn't Serpent Society. It was Civil War, still a Captain America thing. Then Hawkeye came out. And I don't think anybody in this room, all three of you, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think anybody in this room was particularly taken with the Echo character. Is that fair to say?
Well, I've enjoyed that character in the comics quite a bit. And I did like the portrayal of how she became, when she was a kid.
Right.
I really liked all that stuff. I don't think the older Echo was given enough to do in the Hawkeye show.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. But the end result was that I don't think any of us left the season finale of Hawkeye going, can't wait to watch Echo. Woo! I don't think any of us kind of felt that way, which only then heightened a lot of people going, I don't. It does not feel like they set that character up for her own solo show at all, John. I really think this might be a Daredevil, and I was still like, no. I still. I can see where you're coming from now, but I still think they want to do this Echo series. I think they want to do Echo. I think the show's going to be Echo. Well, I might have to reassess a little bit because of a new little bit of a development, and that development is this. They have indeed just brought over actual writers from Daredevil and Punisher, the Netflix series, to be on Echo. This comes to us from the folks over at Screen Rant who write the following. Ken Christensen and Dara Resnick will also be working as writers on Disney Plus's Echo. Christensen wrote 3 episodes of The Punisher, including Season 1, Episode 10, Virtue of the Vicious, Season 2, Episode 3, Trouble the Water, and Season 2, Episode 9, Flustercluck. And Resnick wrote 2 episodes of Daredevil, including Season 3, Episode 8, Upstairs, Downstairs, and Episode 11, Reunion. Daredevil's third and seemingly final season is arguably the series' best, and with Episode 8 focusing on Benjamin Poindexter / Bullseye, played by Wilson Bethel. That comes to us from Screen Rant. So it's not that they've brought over these writers from the Netflix shows as the main writers of the thing. They're coming over. They're going to be working on this show. Does this mean that the Echo show, we can now say it's official, this is actually a Daredevil series? No, we can't. Do I believe it's far more likely today that it just might be? Listen, I've always said this. If you're an intelligent person, you allow your opinion and mind to be changed with the revelation of new information. If I had to put $20 on if I think this show is actually still going to be Echo or if it's going to be a Daredevil series, I will still put the $20 on it's going to be Echo. But I would no longer put 50. 2 months ago, I would have put $1,000 on that. I'm not kidding. I would have put $1,000. Rob, if you had come up to me and said, I'll bet you $1,000 this is actually going to be a Daredevil series, I would have said, I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. I would not take that bet today. $20, yes. But when you start adding up the little things about the return of Charlie Cox, right? That Kevin Feige himself came out and trumpeted. when you take into account where we just saw Charlie Cox, then you take into account that in Hawkeye, it didn't really feel like they were setting up an Echo solo series. And then now you put on top of that the fact that they're actually getting Daredevil and Punisher writers from the Netflix series in to work on that. I can no longer say with any sort of certainty that there's no way this is a Daredevil series. I think if you're one of those crazy people saying that this is going to be a Daredevil series, I actually don't think you're all that crazy anymore. I got to say, I think I'm at a point where I'm going to say I am no longer going to be shocked if this does turn out to be a Daredevil series. And at some event coming up in the near future, Kevin Feige is going to be doing some event and saying, I want to bring out a special guest. And Charlie Cox comes walking out and they have the Echo show plaque, and then it spins around and it's Daredevil, the MCU's, a brand new MCU's Daredevil. Again, $20 still on Echo. We want to take a second and thank a sponsor of this video, HelloFresh. Now, listen, guys, if you are anything like me or Ann, Ann and I are both working professionals. We don't have a lot of time. And what that often meant was when it would come to dinner time, we would either settle with making subpar meals or ordering fast food way too much. I like fast food once in a while, but we were eating fast food way too much. That's why something like HelloFresh was an absolute godsend for us. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Listen, with HelloFresh, you'll be cooking and eating great looking and great tasting meals without the hassle of going to the grocery store and trying to remember everything you need to get on the recipe list, and you'll be paying less. And look, I get it. You are probably saying to yourself or saying to me through the screen, John, you don't get it. I don't know how to cook. I'm telling you, with HelloFresh, you can. Because the packages don't just come with all the ingredients properly portioned out already for you, but they also include clear, easy to follow instructions with images that you'll have no problems following. In 30 minutes or less, you'll be eating great and feeling pretty damn good about yourself looking at the meal that you prepared. So right now, guys, go on over to HelloFresh.com/Campea16 and use the code Campea16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. So HelloFresh, everybody, America's #1 meal kit. Rob, you're seeing all this the way I'm seeing it. You've heard all the fans and the conspiracy theorists and everything talk about this too. Does your needle move at all with this new information we just got? And what do you think is happening here?
This is not a Daredevil series. It is a Daredevil adjacent series. And do you think that Marvel, who's announced a woman of color who is also hearing impaired, you think that they're not going to make that show in this day and age? This is a character people are going to embrace and love. But I'll tell you something, John. In this Echo show, we're going to see Kingpin. We're going to see Daredevil. We're going to see Punisher. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Luke Cage as well, my man, Mike. We're going to see all of these characters, and it's going to be their way of reclaiming those Netflix shows. I wouldn't be surprised if Jessica Jones isn't in this show. It is going to be absolutely Netflix brought into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it's going to be a show that focuses on Echo.
Kim, what are you thinking about this right now? Are you swayed at all? Does this change your out view on it in any way, shape, or form?
I'm really in line with what you said, Rob. I'm really in line with it because I when I saw this, I was like, okay, I like this because there's a savagery when you get into the world of Kingpin, like just bringing Kingpin in on, that episode of those 2 episodes of Hawkeye. Now that you're in that world again, Disney, even with Winter Soldier, and the new Captain America, it was good. The action was good, but there's something about the world of Kingpin and Daredevil. It's got a savagery to it. And you do need to bring over those writers. I don't think you can just be on Disney Plus and be like, we're going to bring back Kingpin. I mean, I was a little nervous with the Hawaiian shirt. I was like, what are we doing here, guys? Is he still the savage Wilson Fisk that we know? And I feel like they are going to have Daredevil in this. I do think it's going to be almost 50-50. And I think if they really want to grab us to convince us that it's really Echo's show, that they're really giving her the spotlight, whatever that trailer is, needs to hit hard, and it needs to be a little bit of that savagery that we've seen with Daredevil.
Totally
because
agree.
he was breaking fools left and right, and being on Disney Plus. I'm not going to say things are watered down, but I am going to say you are not going to see the same adrenaline. You're not going to see the same violence that you saw from Netflix, for sure. I don't think you take an episode of the Netflix Daredevil and just put it on Disney Plus and it's going to be the same. That's not going to happen.
Well,
but they do need those writers to pull us into the world of, the Kingpin. Because, she shot him in the freaking face. Where are we picking up from that? And we need those writers to kind of bring in that savagery a little mixed with Disney Plus and their soft, pillowy selves.
Well, here's the thing, too. I still believe this is going to be an Echo series, and I do believe we're probably going to see some of these characters. I do not believe we're about to see the importation of the Netflix series in. This is a different Kingpin. They've rewritten the Kingpin's history now with the Tracksuit Mafia. They've obviously given this Kingpin superpowers. The other Kingpin did not have superpowers. So we're already seeing some changes there. So, but I do think, and I also don't think we're going to see Punisher. I don't think we're going to see the John Bernthal Punisher. Although I would love it if we did, because I love John Bernthal's Punisher. But
if you see him, he won't be doing anything physical.
Yeah, well, also
because you
Punisher
can't be true
today
to
is
that
problematic
character.
for Disney. Punisher today is because there are some people who've kind of usurped Punisher's imagery and stuff like that Disney wants to have no association with. So I think that presents a little bit of a challenge as well. But I, in principle, agree with you. I think this is still going to be an Echo show. I think they're going to bring more elements. Obviously, Kingpin. They're going to bring more elements of that into it. How much of which and which ones they do, I don't know. But again, I'm just saying, I'm not going to be shocked now. I'm not going to be shocked if we find out it's actually a Secret Daredevil
Well,
show.
Look, the Kingpin, the Tracksuit Mafia was just one part of the Kingpin's much larger empire of crime.
Not the way Hawkeye explained his history.
Well, I think that was just because, that also comes out of the comics. The Tracksuit Mafia came right out of the Mad Faction comics. And that it was just, again, the association with Kingpin was just a small part of, I think you're going to see Echo and Kingpin go to war. Because now Echo knows
it has to be right. If it's an Echo show, it has to.
Yeah,
right?
and you're the thing is the MCU can't really deal with street level crime, the movies, and yet Daredevil and all of the characters of that ilk are not going to be the ones that are dealing with cosmic. They might wind up in Secret Wars or something, but they're the street level characters of the MCU, and I think it's a really interesting way for Marvel to. They're kind of backdooring these characters into their universe. And I think it's a way to do it because they're already established. It's easier to come in and go, okay, we've already got, why not avail ourselves of these characters? Because they're already there. And we've already got these actors. And we don't have to start all over. People love it. And look at the response Charlie Cox got.
Huge.
How were you able to do that? I'm a really good lawyer. Everyone cheered. And suddenly
one of the
Daredevil,
best lines of the movie.
And suddenly, man, Daredevil's a movie star. So they can do it.
Ray, I'm curious. Are you you've been watching these series with us and stuff like that? What are you looking forward to? What do you hope to see happen here?
When she was introduced in Hawkeye, it was just to throw, I think, the character there, and that's why we didn't get really excited for what we saw from her. I think in the series, the very first episode, or even the first 2 episodes, they're gonna really flesh her out, so we know what we're getting right away. Just because if they did something too exciting in Hawkeye, we would forget about the Hawkeye series and just start worrying about her. They wanted us to concentrate on the Hawkeye characters at that moment and just throw in there to tell us that, oh, she's coming. I believe the Kingpin and Daredevil are going to be in the show. And the reason why they brought in these writers is because they're familiar with the characters and they want their input on how they could mold them into the Disney Plus, mold, have sort of whatever they can do with them, but shape them to fit for Disney Plus.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it makes me excited. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be watching the show just to see Daredevil and Kingpin. But I hope as the show goes on, I fall in love with this character.
That we start to like her a little bit more.
Because this character seems like she has a lot going against her, but she has a lot going for her. And I want to see how she deals with that. Especially with dirty, street crimes and stuff like that. How do you how do you live with that or fight through that with her advantages and disadvantages? So,
and it should also be said here that those of us in this room, this is all I'm going to say. Those of us in this room can allow our opinions on this to be shaped by a piece of information that we know that we cannot talk about publicly, that has something to do with things I've shown you guys. So we're trying to communicate our thoughts and opinions on this, knowing something that is not general public knowledge yet. So we're trying to keep that in mind, and we will let you guys know when the time is right and we're allowed to reveal that. We'll let you guys know what that is. But anyway, guys, listen, for now, the question is for you. What do you think about this? Many of you have written into me over the months saying you think this Echo show is actually a Daredevil series. Now, with the new information about the writers coming, do you still believe that? Do you think, like most of us do, that it's probably still an Echo series that will feature other characters? Whatever you guys are thinking right now, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts.